Hey guys, DRS2N1 here to give you part 11 on the speedrun tutorial series for Dragon Warrior 1 on GBC. So if we take a look at our items, we have one key, we've got the Rain Staff, the Sunstone, and the Lotus Seal. We've also got Healmore now. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to head to the shrine just south of Rimilidar, pick up the Rainbow Drop, and then we're going to head to Dragonlord's Castle, all the way up to Dragonlord 1. We're going to stop there because Dragonlord 1 and 2 fights are very intricate, so I want to make sure to do those by themselves. Especially on the level 17 run, they're pretty intricate, just because of what you need to manipulate in order to make sure that you can actually win them. There's not a guarantee that you're going to win those fights, unfortunately. There is a bit of RNG involved, even if you play your best, but we'll walk through those when we get there. So, you're going to head through the Swamp Cave, down to Rimilidar, and then south to the Shrine. Nothing spectacular here, you're going to run from everybody. You don't need any more experience. You're already at the level you need to be, so you can just run from every fight. If you did notice, our MP is kind of limited at this point, since we fought the dragon, we did a couple of returns, we got the Lotus Seal, etc. But we want to make sure and conserve that mana to a certain extent so that we can cast Repel when we leave Rimilidar, or before we enter Rimilidar for the last time. That's just so we can save a few fights before getting into Dragonlord's Castle. It's not a big thing, you don't have to do it, but it'll save you a little bit of time there. So, you can kind of choose what to do here. You could fight that battle. You're going to be able to kill him in like either 1 or 2 hits, depending on how hard you hit him. It's up to you. I usually run, but once again, it's kind of like there's no real right choice. It's whatever you feel lucky with. If you get a flee the first try, then it's always best to flee, but if you get cut off like this a couple times, it'd have been best had I just fought it. So we're going to enter the shrine, and because we have all the items necessary, he's going to give us the Rainbow Drop. That's going to be used to create the bridge to Dragonlord Castle, which we'll go to from here. So now we head up to Dragonlord's Castle, but first we're actually going to stop in Rimilidar for the last inn we're going to use in this game. We're going to max out our MP. We're also going to buy a set of 6 herbs and 1 torch. You use the torch so that you don't have to cast Radiant inside of the Dragonlord's Castle underground. You could get away with it, but it's a high risk that you're going to actually not be able to cast Healmore 12 times. You've got a limited amount of HP, or of MP. And so we have 98 MP at max right now, which is actually really high. Usually you're not that high. So we could get away with casting a Radiant and still having all the Healmores we want, but that's not the way to generally treat it, so we're going to just go through with a torch. It doesn't cost that much time, it's like 1 more extra second to buy, and you already have to be in that menu anyway, so it's not a big deal. So head up to Rimilidar, but the step before Rimilidar, we're actually going to cast Repel, so that we can have that Repel going up to Dragonlord's Castle. That's why if you accidentally cast Healmore at any point on the way down, you more than likely won't be able to cast that last Repel and you'll just have to walk it out by yourself. So there's the end. Now we're at full HP and MP. The MP matters way more than the HP because of our healing with every step. We're going to buy 6 herbs and 1 torch, and that's going to be the last shop of the game. If you remember, we have that 1 key left over, and you do need 1 key in Dragonlord's Castle. So make sure you have at least 1. If you happen to fight extra dragons at this point, you're going to want to go to the key shop and get at least 1 key. And so nothing special here on the walk to Dragonlord's Castle. We're just going to go up and to the left, do the Rainbow Bridge, and then head to the castle. All the enemies inside of the castle are much stronger than the ones outside, but outside of the general ones you've already seen. So you can choose there. You can either choose to fight them to make sure that you only have a couple turns, or you can run away and hope that you flee before you would normally take to kill them. So one thing to note that once we get into this castle, there's a good rule of thumb that anytime you're under 70 HP at the end of a battle, you should herb up to over 70 HP. I'd actually say a conservative healing is staying above 90 HP, but it's up to you, kind of how lucky you feel. I would say you definitely need to stay above 70 HP though. 70 HP gives you 3 flee tries from every enemy in here. 90 is going to give you probably 4, but you need to stay above 70. And you can use herbs to do that completely. The only time you need to cast a heal more is if somehow an enemy gets you down to less than 30 HP, and then you aren't sure you're going to flee, and in which case I'd cast heal more because you at least need to get to Dragonlord. And so we just used our key there. Sorry, we didn't torch up. But you at least need to just make it to Dragonlord. The fight is already RNG based, so even if you're a little low on MP, it's best just to let luck decide it, as opposed to dying before you even get to him. And so here, the enemies you're really looking to fight would be dragons. Those are pretty easy. They're not going to put you to sleep. It's just a certain amount of damage. Werewolves are pretty straightforward as well. You can flee from them, or you can put them to sleep first if you have the extra MP. It's not ideal that you would put them to sleep, but you could here with 98 MP. Also, Dragonlord is a good fight, so that's actually nice. He didn't see us. Dragonlord's a good fight because you can kill him in 2 hits, so you can kind of HP conserve. Mad Knight, Axe Knight, and Rock Golem are the worst fights to have. Rock Golem hits extremely hard. He hits for over 30 every single time, which is really why you want to keep your HP above 90. Like, he is the main reason for that. All the other enemies are pretty straightforward. He's the one who's going to hit you the hardest. Mad Knight and Axe Knight, they hit really hard and they can put you to sleep. That's what's worrisome about them. I have definitely lost runs to Mad Knight before when he put me to sleep for 5 turns and was able to kill me. And if that happens to you, that's just bad luck and there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. There's no special trick to it, it's just pray that you don't end up getting hit 5 times when you're asleep. And so, I'm going to attach the notes to this so you can have a castle layout. I have all the maps for pretty much all the dungeons with my notes. So, if you don't quite understand the route that I'm taking right now, feel free to look at that and try to memorize it. It'll take you a few playthroughs, but you'll eventually get it. Okay, we use an herb there. We want to conserve our herbs a little bit, not a lot, but you probably want 2 or 3 herbs going into Dragonlord 2. There's some special tactics we can take on Dragonlord 2 that utilize the leftover herbs that we have. So, if you have to use them all, you just use them all. But if you can keep a couple, you can kind of buy an extra couple of hits on Dragonlord 2 from them. And so here we're going to go pick up the Lodo Sword. We're not going to equip it because we can actually equip that during the Dragonlord fight. So we're going to wait and equip it then, and we're just going to keep running from all the enemies before then. So here's Dragonlord. That's one of those enemies that you could just hit twice for HP conservation purposes. That way you know he's only going to get 1 hit, it's probably going to be less than 30, and so you can walk that out. If you flee, you could lose a couple of times, and then he'll do 60 damage, you'll have to herb up. It's all a matter of luck of the draw, so it's kind of runner's choice on that one. I've actually had pretty good encounter luck here, quite honestly. I wouldn't expect quite this good luck when you're doing a normal run. Also, I should mention that if you're doing a level 18 run, you would actually want to fight these enemies here if you're not already level 18. I mentioned in an earlier split that there's 3 different choices. You can fight at level 17, you can fight at level 18 getting 18 in Dragonlord's Castle, or fight at level 18 getting 18 before Dragonlord's Castle. Getting before gives you extra MP, getting during gets you a lot of boosted stats, but the same MP values you have right now. Either one is viable, and level 18 does help a lot, so even if you choose to do it in Dragonlord's Castle, that's not a big deal. It's really helpful in the last fight. But on that, I'd still suggest that you run from Rock Golems, run from the Mad Knight and the Axe Knight if possible. You can also fight them if you want the experience, but it's probably not worth the hassle, quite honestly. Red dragons are great because they give 300 experience, so that's something you can utilize when you're trying to get to level 18. Alright, we're very close, so hopefully we just don't get hit before we get to Dragonlord, and then we'll be at full HP and ready to start the fight. Alright, as long as we don't get into another fight, we'll have max HP and we'll be fine. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, but we got away. So this is Dragonlord 1. I'm actually going to do that in a separate split just to make sure that you have a go back and forth between just that last fight. So, thanks for watching and hope you'll look into the next split.